Hello, and a warm welcome to today's webinar, which is an introduction to NLP. I'm super excited to see you all here. So let's tune in and learn more about NLP and a little bit more about our training academy. I'm super excited for you. So what I'd like you to do, ideally, is to take a pen and paper. Have that handy because you may wish to write down some notes so that you're able to ask me any questions. But first of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about us at the NLP Coaching Company. And this company was founded by Mark and Karen Shields back in 2005, so a few years ago now. And we have actually certified professionals, over 15,000 of you in over 15 different countries. Now, we pride ourselves on the best education and we share our knowledge, and we offer a range of different courses that are NLP based. We have clinical hypnotherapy, life coaching, we even have health coaching, lifestyle medicine, and EFT. Now, we like to offer different options, different learning options to our students. So you're able to train with us here at our HQ in Hitchin, which is down in the south of England. Or you can train with me live in the virtual option. Or you're able to complete one of our full diplomas, which is done at our Life Practice Training Academy. So you do have those different options and you will choose what will suit you the best. So become the best by learning from the best. So my name is Hayley Austin and I'm a CAM Transformational Coaching Specialist. I actually became my boss just over 10 years ago now, and I was running a really successful leadership and sales business. But after 4 years into that business, I felt that there was something missing and I just wanted more from my business. I wanted to understand the difference between successful people, why I was managing to be so successful, versus other people who perhaps weren't so successful. What was it that I suppose drived my behaviour? So I was interested in all of that, and that is how I stumbled across neuro-linguistic programming, which is like personal development on steroids. So of course I wanted to train with the NLP Coaching Company because they are multi-accredited and they are the only academy of its kind that basically encompasses all those different modalities. So I started that, and that was nearly, 6-7 years ago, and here I am today presenting to you. So I'm also our course director and trainer of all our virtual options, and I've authored my own book, my first one, 2019, Freedom from Anxiety. And also, more recently, a wonderful journal that's based on the four pillars of health, and that's called It All Starts From the Inside. And I'm super excited to do this training workshop with you today. I would love you to stay tuned in to the end of this because I've got something really special for you. But for now, let's discover why you're all here. And that is because you must have an interest in NLP. Perhaps you've stumbled across us just like I did when I wanted to learn more about human behaviours. You have that genuine desire to help people. And you're looking for change, but maybe you don't know how. Maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck. You're struggling with key relationships and you're looking to become a coach and have that career change. And you want to improve your own communication skills. So what is NLP all about? A really good question, right? Well, It's about the study of human excellence, how successful people think, act, and behave. How do they get the results that they get? The science of achievement, modeling, coding excellence by observing success. 2% of the world's population own 98% of its wealth. But how do they do it? So let's look at what is NLP. So NLP is the practice of understanding how people organise their thinking, their feeling, language and behaviour to produce the results that they do. So NLP, it provides you with a methodology to model outstanding performance. So if you have a look at my lovely diagram here, we have input and output. Now that input is all the information that is absorbed through our 5 senses, so how we make sense of the world. Of course, I'll be covering more about that in a moment. And then all of that sensory information that we have is experienced by us, and that has to be filtered. And again, I'll go through more about mind filtering. And then we have the output, which is the behaviour as a result. So we have neuro, which is the N in NLP, how the mind and body, nervous system interact and how we take in all of this information, how we think. We have L, which is linguistic. That's the use of verbal and non-verbal language. You're going to find out in a moment that 90% of communication is actually done non-verbally. Then we have P, programming. That's the study of thinking and behavioural patterns or programs which people use in their daily lives. There are so many different ways you can explain NLP to somebody, but it is modelling excellence. It's the way in which the world is represented to you via your 5 senses and your values and beliefs and how you make sense of that. So the history of NLP, I've got some wonderful information here for you. It's actually quite new. It's not been around that long. It was founded in the 1970s, around the same time as CBT. It was founded by 2 gentlemen called Richard Bandler and John Grinder. And what they did is they studied excellence by looking at 3 different types of therapy. And they modelled this and they had a look at their codes of excellence by observing how effective all of these different therapies were. So we had talking therapy, family therapy, we had Gestalt therapy, and also Milton Erickson's language patterns, which are amazing. It's also known as Ericksonian hypnosis, and hypnosis is a state of mind. It's brilliant for influencing and putting people into what we call the trance state. So by applying these new codes that Richard and John created, this means that you could bring results to anyone who applied them. You're able to access your own resources within. Bandler and Grinder, they discovered that 90% of communication is unconscious and subliminal. Methods of communication are done by voice tonality, body language and eye movements, also known as eye accessing cues. I have lots of fun training you in that one. Everyone processes information in 2 ways, at a conscious and an unconscious level. The importance of the unconscious mind and the difference, the key differences between conscious and the unconscious. It's worth knowing that NLP actually bridges the gap between the 2 at a subconscious level. So NLP and the study of success, modelling that excellence. Let's look at that. So modelling is a precise way of copying excellence in someone. How did they do it? How do they talk? How do they use their body language? And how are they thinking? So, for example, how did Philippa turn her business around in 1 hour? What is it that she did that was so successful? Well, she will have modelled different strategies and applied them to her own business. So, how can neuro-linguistic programming help you? Good question. And how can it help others? Well, you can identify and remove any limitations, anything that's stopping you from getting you to that next level or meeting that goal. And quite often into adulthood, we can carry around these beliefs and they can hold us back. So, by looking at these beliefs that perhaps we've created, this story that maybe we've told ourselves, we're able to change that and remove these limitations, because beliefs are formed between the ages, really between 0 and 7 years old. It helps us become effective with powerful, meaningful communication. It can enhance relationships, manage your emotions in any situation. That personally for me was an absolute game changer, especially with the circumstances and what actually happened to me back in the days when I was in senior corporate. So being able to manage your emotions, imagine that. Controlling your behavior can also help with confidence and self-belief, and all of those there that you can see that NLP can help you with. We have the most wonderful techniques that you can apply to enable for this to happen. There isn't really anything that NLP can't help with. But let's move on into how NLP can help you in business. Well, it can improve profits by observing competitors and doing more. It can effectively manage your internal mindset. So how is your mindset? What story are you telling yourselves? Do you have a growth mindset? Do you have a success mindset? Influencing others to work together congruently, because together everyone achieves more. Overcoming challenges. Listen to motivate yourself and others. Listening is such an important skill. But if we can just listen and take our time to respond, then that will help us to communicate more effectively and to think more clearly and make better decisions. Now, there are 4 areas of NLP. It's known as really the foundations, the core of NLP, or the 4 pillars of NLP that it's also known as. Let's take a look. We have rapport. We have tote, which is outcomes, the desired outcome that we want. Sensory acuity, there are 5 senses. And we have behaviour flexibility. Okay, a little bit about rapport. So rapport is a relationship between people who've established that know, like and trust, basically. And they're able to connect on that deeper level. Identifying shared feelings and establish two-way communication. I will be showing you how do we create that rapport? How do we become good at creating rapport with somebody? Now let's look at tote, and this is our desired outcomes. So this model explains how strategies operate and how they mean the difference between success and failure. But first of all, we have to test a well-formed outcome. I'm talking about your goal and what is it that your goal is ultimately going to do for you? What's it going to provide you? What's it going to give you? And that there is your well-formed outcome, which also must be in line with your own values and your beliefs. So once we've got that, we're going to test it, we're going to operate it to see whether the strategy will attain the outcome that ultimately works for you. So shall we see how this works? Okay, so I have got a person A that you can see is unsuccessful. And then we have a person B that is really successful. So person A, and we've based this around performance nerves, tends to begin to worry the night before the performance. And you can bet that they'll have had a really poor night's sleep as well. Negative self-talk. So they have critical negative thinking going on internally. They probably get sweaty, hot, or shaky during their performance. Even before the performance begins, they can feel themselves burning up. They're worried about the fear of failure and disappointing. And this in turn drives that behaviour where they have that further lack of confidence. So that is an unsuccessful strategy. It's not going to do them well in life. But then we have person B. Now, take a look at this one. They can visualize success. In fact, it's worth knowing that the brain's preferred language is visual. So if you can visualize success, you can see yourself winning and attaining that goal, then you are likely to believe it. You're oozing that self-belief. You have positive self-talk. You're focused, smart, your shoulders are back, and you ooze confidence because you keep on being successful. And this, of course, reinforces that confidence. You're also your true, authentic self. And life does just flow. So that is a successful person. Okay, let's look at sensory acuity. You can see there's a diagram here of our 5 senses. So how we feel or touch, how we hear, how we see, smell and taste. Now, understanding how to use your senses to interact and understand your world is beneficial to you because it's going to help you when you're learning something new. And how these senses affect you and other people around you, and how to communicate using these senses. If you're speaking to someone and they're using visual terminology, you will then respond back in exactly that language. For example, I see what you say. Recognizing that we all communicate completely differently. So as soon as we've discovered what the preferred representational system is, then we're on to a winner because we can communicate back using their language. And I'll speak about that in more detail really soon. Behavioural flexibility. So being flexible in our approach and looking from many angles to achieve the level of success that you want to attain. Have as many options open in your mind as possible. If what you do isn't working, then change your strategy. Don't stop. If you stop, that's when you're going to fail. So just change your strategy. Model somebody else's success or model a different strategy. So be as flexible as you can, because if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. So keep on changing until you get that desired goal, that outcome. Anything is possible. Please don't rule anything out. Presuppositions of NLP. I'm going to enjoy speaking about this one for you. So what are presuppositions? You're probably wondering what we're presupposing here. So here we go. They are a set of empowering beliefs that NLPers live and die by. They are amazing because they challenge us all of the time and change our belief systems. And they are applied in practical ways in our daily lives. So let's have a look at some of the most popular presuppositions of NLP. There are more than these, but these that I've listed here that you can see are the main ones. So first of all, we have the map is not the territory. hold on to that thought. I'm going to go into that one in a bit more detail on the next slide. Every behaviour has a positive intention. Absolutely, because our brain is there to protect us. The role of the brain hasn't changed. It is there to protect us. And we wouldn't do these behaviours that we don't want if it wasn't serving a positive intention. And we have some amazing NLP techniques that help challenge this and find out what that positive intention behind the behaviour is, so that we're able to then start changing it while still satisfying the positive behaviour. Number 3, there is no failure, only feedback. I love this one. If you're learning something new, apply this all of the time. Don't be worried about stepping out of that comfort zone, because you can ask for that critical feedback that you need that's constructive. And then you can take anything that people give to you so that you're able to make those improvements in the future. So there is no failure. It's helping us to evolve, to improve, to become that best version of yourself. The meaning of the communication is the response it gets. Now, this is great because sometimes you may communicate something to someone and they give you maybe an answer that has nothing to do with how you represented that communication, so to speak. Well, if that happens, then you often have to, I suppose, restructure your sentence, or maybe you will think of a metaphor, anything, in order for the person who's listening to you to understand what you're talking about. So remember that the meaning of the communication is the response it gets. You cannot not communicate. We know this, that 90% of communication is done non-verbally. So you can start observing behaviours. Number 6, people have all the resources they need, and it's wonderful because they really do. When you start working with people and you say to them in a session, what do you want more of today? Well, I'd love to have more confidence. Well, then we need to access that resource so that they feel more confident. So they do have all the resources, we do, on the inside. We just need to know how to access them. If what you are doing is not working, do something different. Think of that tote model. In any system, the person with the most flexibility controls the system. Choice is better than no choice. Okay, so the map is not the territory. This is the most well-known of all NLP presuppositions, empowering beliefs. Now, our own reality is based upon our perception of the world, and it's not necessarily the truth. It's a story that we're telling ourselves. Everybody's perception is personal to them, based upon their experience of the world. We have to accept that everyone's map is different. It's just a perception. So therefore it can be changed. And how exciting is that, to know that you can change your entire thought process? Because how you see the world, how you're seeing me now, will be different to how somebody else is perhaps seeing me in this presentation. The way that you see those colours may be different to how I see the colours and how I see you and the world around you. So the map is not the territory. And I'm going to explain in the moment, how do we access somebody's map of the world? And how do we, once we've accessed that map of the world, expand it? So we have the meta model. Now the meta model is wonderful. It's actually the very first model that was created in NLP. It's the oldest model. And this model is the L in NLP, language patterns. It is a set of language patterns. If you can get your head around this one and master the meta model, then you will have a great understanding of NLP and you'll become a really good practitioner or coach. So the meta model is all about filtering information in line with our map, that map that we spoke about earlier, the map of our world. So we need to be able to generalize information, delete it, and distort. Now, the NLP meta model language pattern is all about information gathering. And we have what we call the surface structure. You'll see that there on the left-hand side as you're looking at the presentation. So if you hear people in NLP talking about surface structure, I'm talking about the tip of the iceberg. So imagine now an iceberg, and you can see the very tip of it above the water level. And then everything else, the biggest part of that iceberg is underneath, isn't it? So the tip of the iceberg, and that's the way that a person is using language via stories, metaphors, explanations, and detail, what they want to share with you at any given time. Now we have the deeper structure, the meaning often that's going on underneath, so the meaning of the communication. And that's the way in which a person sorts information and processes it through their own communication model. And this involves their beliefs, their sensory experience, their preferred processing style, whether that's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, meta programs, past experiences, and perceptions of choice and possibility. Then we move on to finally the experience. Now, the experience is that person's conclusion. It's the roundup of what they have summarized before they respond to a question that you have asked. So their map and their reality is the way they've coded and represented the experience into their own neurology. Okay, so let's look at these what we call mind filters in the meta model. These three that I'm going to go through are the most popular. There are many more, but let's look at these. So we have generalize. Now, generalizations, they occur when someone makes a broad statement that's unfounded. Perhaps there's quite a bit of context missing behind what it is that they're talking about. The story is lacking a lot of detail. So, for example, a generalization can be something like, all birds have wings. Many children eat cereal for breakfast. All Yorkshire men are rude. And then you can question that. So this is where your coaching skills will be enhanced by learning these different language patterns. So always, never, every. You can even use the who, what, why, when, and how. Or what happens if you do? Imagine you could, and what then? Now, meta-model deletions are how we pay attention to some parts of our experiences and not others. Now, this is nature's economy program. Without it, our brain would overload. There would be far too much information coming in via our five senses at any one time. And we would go crazy if we could remember every detail of every experience we had, every minute of every hour of every day. So our conscious mind is very, very clever, and it will just delete anything that it doesn't consider relevant. So here's some examples of, I suppose, where part of the meaning is left out or lost in a conversation. So here we go. I love some of the food. Well, what food specifically? I like some workouts on certain days. Which workout are you talking about? And which days? What about this one? Give me an update on it. An update on what specifically? Now, distortion occurs when something is mistaken for that which it is not, when things are incorrectly included in our internal representations. So, for example, if you're looking for a certain ingredient in your cupboard and you remember that it's in, I don't know, a green container, and you're searching for it, you can't see it. So you go on to do something else. Then you think, I swear I put that back in that cupboard. You go back to the cupboard and guess what? It's there. It was there all along. It's in front of your face. But at the time, your vision was distorted and you couldn't see it. So it's also known as well as mind reading. So that's when you think you know what a person is thinking or feeling. Do you know what? 9 times out of 10, we're completely wrong. We're not mind readers, right? But whenever you hear mind reading type statements, you can begin to ask questions using how and what. So, for example, he wants to ask me out. You don't give me what I want. I just know summer will be a disaster. And you have no idea what is going to happen. Okay, so let's move on to the wonderful cognitive thinking cycle, because the way we think affects the way that we feel, and the way that we feel drives our behaviour, and then in turn drives the results that we get. This is really useful. I'm just going to keep this slide on just for a moment there. If you want to take a screenshot, please do. I go through this not just with yourselves when I'm doing my trainings, but I also explain this when I'm working with a new client, because it really does make them sit back and think about their own thought process. Very powerful. We have the potential model. This is a great model because your beliefs shape your potential. And your potential determine your actions, and your actions determine your results, and your results, they shape your beliefs. Now, if you don't think that you can do very well, then you're not going to try very hard, and you're probably not going to take much action. So this potential model is very often the difference between success and failure, and that all comes down to effort. It really does come down to effort. Okay, let's get back to rapport. I'm excited to go through this with you. So take a genuine interest in getting to know what's important to other people. It helps you to start to understand them instead of them expecting them to understand you first. How is this done? Well, we start by mirroring, which is really good to study. So when you're observing someone, you can mirror them first by watching their movements, and then you can mirror that back. So imagine that person is having a cup of coffee and they raise, I don't know, maybe their left arm. You would mirror that by raising your right arm. You wouldn't do that necessarily bang on at the same time, because that could look a little bit creepy. But you would follow that on naturally. If they lean forward, you would too. Perhaps maybe they've crossed their leg, and maybe you would follow too. It's interesting. So what I'd like you to do is, next time you're out in a coffee shop or maybe you're in a restaurant, start observing the behaviour, and you will see that naturally when people are in rapport, this is going on automatically at an unconscious level. So once we've mastered that mirroring and we can see that the other person is comfortable, we can start matching key words that they say, favourite phrases perhaps that they use, and looking at that body language, the manner of speaking, their voice tonality. Keep up with their speed of talking. Look at their facial expressions and their breath. So we call that matching. Okay, now once we've got that done, we then move on to pace and lead. Now, pacing in NLP is gaining and maintaining rapport with the other person over a period of time by joining them in their model of their world, by matching and mirroring their external behaviour. So pacing is having the flexibility to meet another person's map. So they've managed to access the map of their reality, their world, their way of thinking, and it sets a bridge between the individuals. Now, once that bridge is established, it allows us to lead someone to other possibilities and other choices. So you can expand their way of thinking. Now we've got sensory acuity. So human beings, that's you and I, perform 5 basic functions as well as the using language we see, hear, feel, smell, taste and touch. And this is known as the representational system, or VACOG. So we use these systems to organise, code, store and attach meaning to every experience we ever have. So shall we give this a try? What I'd like you to do is just pop your pen down and your pad down if you have one, and close your eyes for me, because I'm going to get you now to really connect at that deeper level to an experience. So close your eyes down, because I want you to go back to a time, probably in your childhood, when you first experienced ice cream. So go back in time, see yourself getting smaller and smaller, younger and younger. As you go back in time now to a time when you first tasted ice cream. Now, as you can see what's going on, or maybe you can sense or feel this experience that's happening now in your mind as you bring this memory to the forefront, is the taste of the ice cream. Is the texture smooth? Or is it bitty? What was the flavour of the ice cream? The sensation of the cold, the coolness of the ice cream, the way it felt as you swallowed it. And perhaps as you are really connecting now and immersing yourself in this memory, you can see the people that were with you, around you. So notice your surroundings, where you were when you first had this ice cream. Are there any sounds around you? Perhaps you can hear the sound of an ice cream van, or maybe you can hear children playing. So really immerse yourself in that experience and just remember what you saw, what you smelt, what you tasted, what you heard, and how you felt. Well done. Then when you're ready, just open your eyes and come back into the room. That is how we can use NLP to help us to connect to those important experiences in our life. Okay, so let's have a look at the characteristics of someone who is more visual. So what I mean is their preferred representational system is visual. They're able to learn visually by looking at things. And they tend to have rapid breaths from the top of their chest. And as a result, this person can have a high-pitched voice as well. Their head can be pointed up. And very often they're seeking out this visual information as if they're almost downloading from the cloud. They're pulling this information in. They can talk quite fast because they're describing a whole series of pictures and videos that they can see going on now as they connect to this visual experience. Lots of gestures and points because they create images around them and tend to move their hands. So you may have noticed that I do that a lot. I am indeed a very visual person, and my preferred way of learning is through visually. I need to be able to see so that I can watch YouTube videos and I can learn very, very quickly. And once you find out what your main representational system is, it's going to help enhance your personal development. Okay, so moving on to characteristics of someone who is perhaps more auditory. So they learn best by listening, talking and saying it again. They love verbal feedback and they love to talk things through. So they may have a lot of repetition going on. You could be explaining something and they repeat it just to make sure that they've understood those key learnings. They breathe from the center of the chest. They speak very pronounced. And they're often distracted by other sounds going on around them because they're really in tune with everything that's going on with these sounds. Auditory people, I can give you some examples of those. They tend to be doctors, nutritionists, dentists, scientists, mathematicians, anyone who really likes detail. Okay, characteristics of kinesthetic people. These are wonderful people to be around because they're really in touch with their feelings, and they can be quite sporty too. They have a high developed awareness of feeling and touch. It's those people that when you meet, they like to cuddle, and they tend to pat you when they're talking. And they breathe from the bottom of the abdomen really slowly and deeply. They talk quite slow, and they're okay with being touched, and they like to touch others when they're communicating. Those are the three main characteristics of VACOG that we tend to see. Now, you may be looking at that and thinking, well, actually, I'm a little bit auditory, and I can definitely relate to kinesthetic, but maybe not so visual, or however it is that you see this. It is common, of course, to be all three of these, or to be two of them, or maybe you struggle with one of them. That's fine, but there will be one that stands out more than others, and we do have a VACOG questionnaire which you all get access to when we start our training, and then you can see which one stands out more than the others, and then all of a sudden everything makes sense and your ability to learn becomes enhanced. So what issues can you help your client with in life? I've listed what we call our big five. These tend to be the biggest things that we help our clients with. We've got stress management, anxiety and depression, addictions, fears and phobias, and weight management. Now, you will go on, if you decide to train with us, to learn all of these programs because we train these in up to mastery level. So how can NLP help clients in business? Communication and rapport is the number one thing we need in businesses and business models. We can help with presentation nerves, very, very common. Confidence, perhaps someone's been out of work for a few years, or classic at the moment certainly is when we've had those lockdowns and people having to go back into the office, that they're worried about that. So you can help them. Managing performance and how to influence groups and people, and how to help with motivation. Increase your leadership skills and decision making. So to summarize, reprogramming with an NLP coach is done at an unconscious level. It's unconscious change work. When we're scrambling those neuro pathways, the way that you thought about something, we change that, and we basically install a new program, a new way of being. NLP techniques change your client's perception of reality by identifying and working with their strongest representational system, what we've just spoken about, VACOG, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory and gustatory. We can create new perceptions and beliefs. Those beliefs are not fixed. We can change those, just like we can change our values. I bet if you think about what you value now, it certainly won't be what you valued 10 years ago. We change as people. We can install new programs in their unconscious mind. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed learning the basics there, really, of NLP. So I'd like to now talk a little bit about our virtual learning option, because of course that is exactly what I do. So here we go. Welcome to our virtual hybrid learning experience. So you're going to find out a little bit more, what is transformational coaching? What is it that you're going to learn? About our accreditation, super important. We're so proud of being multi-accredited and what that means for you. Our post-course support, which is amazing. I'm super excited to go through that with you as well. And finally, at the end, I've got that offer. Okay, so Transformational Coaching Diploma. This is for you if you're looking for that change of career. If you're looking for professional certifications in life coaching, NLP, medical hypnotherapy, EFT, health coaching, all of those things, if you're looking for full professional certification, you have absolutely come to the right place. We're the only academy of its kind that is multi-accredited. I'm going to show you these different professional bodies in a moment. To make an impact with the work that you do, you have that fulfillment, that burning desire, that need to help other people. To become part of the CAM industry, it's huge. There are over 100,000 CAM practitioners worldwide, and that covers all sorts of different therapies. You wish to start your own coaching practice, and you're looking for flexible blended study. So what you're looking for is, yes, you would love to do a diploma, but you want to be able to complete this within 12 weeks and have an element of training, live training with myself, so that you not only have me for those 12 weeks, you have all of your colleagues, the delegates that are going to be training with you for support. So CAM Transformational Coaching is the only coaching methodology in the world that takes a truly integrative approach to life coach training by combining life, health and mind coach training all within the same course. CAM stands for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. So it's a holistic approach. Our mission: to provide life-changing education to everyone, everywhere. So why train with us? Well, as I said at the beginning of all of this, we have been certifying professionals since 2005. We have over 200 five-star reviews, over 1,000 testimonials, and we love winning these awards. So do head on back to the website to take a look at some of our more recent global awards for our high standard of training. So like I said, our diplomas, they do include health and mind coaching and how to set up in business. Now, I train in, so to begin with, you'll start on practitioner level and you're going to learn all about neuro-linguistic programming. You're going to learn the different techniques, the tools and skills that you're going to be able to apply to yourself and others. How to become a successful life coach, and how to perform hypnosis, how to get someone into that trance state, to make that deep level change. Clinical hypnotherapy. So clinical hypnotherapy has nothing to do with stage hypnosis. It's completely different. So it's really exciting when you train with us that you get to learn those modalities. So cutting edge insights from health and personal development, human potential advancement, and behavioural change psychology. Okay, so how does this work? You can choose the dates that best suit you, and we run many cohorts throughout the year. Each cohort has 3 weekends worth of training that run over approximately 12 weeks, give or take. It's flexible, so if you can't make a weekend, please don't worry. You can still train with us, but what you can do is choose another weekend perhaps that's more suitable for you. As soon as you decide you want to start training with us, you can begin online straight away. So there's no waiting, in essence, for the live training to begin for you to start. You actually get access to your own portal. And we expect you to obviously get up to what we call foundation level before you even get started. And in your portal, which is fantastic, it's oozing with course materials. We have reading list in there. We have all our manuals, handouts. Everything is in there, everything that you need. And there's some videos. You can start watching. You can start learning straight away. And then, of course, we'll get started live with me virtually. And we do work over those 3 weekends virtually. And also, we get together once a week as well. Now, it's usually on a Wednesday evening from 7 till 8 o'clock. Now, I don't want you to worry too much if you can't attend those weekday evenings, because we do record those weekday evenings and pop them into your portal. And I do expect you obviously to catch up before we start the next week's training. There are 70 hours in total of live classroom training spread over those 12 weeks. Okay, what I've done here is I've showed you the process of these live weekends, what you expect to learn. So have a look here at the weekend. So we have 1 and 2. So that's your first weekend. That's a Saturday and a Sunday. And you're going to dive into the world of NLP. You're going to learn all about the neurological pathways, fears and phobias, different NLP techniques. You're going to be doing lots of group practice work where you can pair up and practice rapport on each other. So how amazing that you're going to master this rapport straight away when you're going to be learning with each other. You'll learn about the eye accessing cues. We have a lot of fun learning that. There'll be some giggles. And you're also going to learn more about the 4 pillars of NLP. And of course, more about VACOG and lots of practice. I also set up the most amazing WhatsApp group for you all as well. So you can practice buddy up in between these live weekends. Then we have the second weekend, and that's the 3 and 4 that you can see. That is going to be your clinical hypnosis weekend. You're going to learn all about how susceptible people are to hypnosis, the importance of a pre-talk for hypnosis, how to write a script, how to induce trance. I'm going to do a group demonstration at the end of day 1 of training. That's great. Everyone loves this because you're usually really tired by the end of the day. And I'll get you all into that lovely relaxed state, and you can all experience what hypnosis feels like, which is a state of mind, very relaxing state of mind. We like to bypass the critical thinking mind. And then you have day 2 of clinical hypnotherapy, and you'll be practicing. That's all about practicing on each other. So you have those breakout rooms where you can use your scripts and tweak them and work with each other. So it is a jam-packed weekend hypnotherapy. It's really fun, and I know you're going to absolutely love it. And then we have our final weekend, which is all about life coaching. And in life coaching, we go through the different models, and you're going to learn as well how to do a breakthrough session, which makes you stand out from competition. You're going to learn about Casper. That's our human needs developed by us. Actually, Mark Shields developed Casper, not Casper the ghost. You're going to learn Skated, Medic, the Grow model. It's brilliant. You're going to love this. Now, I always leave life coaching to the end of training because you're going to learn all of these different techniques and hypnosis, and life coaching will pull all of this together so that you'll know how to coach someone, and then you'll start thinking about perhaps what you would do in a session. Once you've completed all of those weekends, those 3 weekends, we're then able to certify you. Of course, providing all your pre-work has been done. So that is how it looks. That's our live process. And just remember, you have those weekly training sessions with me as well, and full support. So you get to pick my brains, anything business related too. And you start with us at foundation level, because of course you'll have done all of that work before we get started live. So guideline completion time for this course is around 12 weeks. We do pride ourselves at the Life Practice Group in the highest standard of education. We've been really fussy about accreditation, and we are accredited by the best professional bodies, in our opinion, out there. So let's look more about what does this mean for you. So first of all, the reason why we have these professional bodies is to protect the public. And also, by joining one of these professional bodies, it makes you look professional because you're adhering to that code of ethics. It means that you've been through a very high standard of education, because all these people here, all these bodies that you can see, professional bodies on this slide, have actually accreditors. They have gone through our course content. So once you've completed and we've certified you, you can apply to the NLP at practitioner level. You have the IPHM, which is great if you want to coach internationally at full practitioner level. Then you have the General Hypnotherapy Register. That's for hypnotherapy only. So if you want to brand yourself as a hypnotherapist and you really enjoy that part of your training, then please go ahead and join them. That's at foundation level. If you're looking at becoming a coach and you're going to use all of these different modalities, then we actually advise you to join the ACCPH, because they cover you for counselling, psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, coaching, NLP, the lot. And they're international as well. Now, what's interesting about the ACCPH is you may have done some other training in the past for different things, and they look at that and they then will offer you which membership level you can join at. So they will invite you to join at a certain level once you've gone through the application process. You can also join the International Coaching Federation as a member. So it's really exciting that you have that choice as soon as you finish this course. We pride ourselves on post-course support and business setup as well. So when you're finished, you might be thinking, oh, what's next? Don't worry, you have access to 3 months of Cam Coach Club membership. And we get together every 2 weeks live on Facebook. And we have we have experts that come into the group from the CAM industry to share their expertise. We record all of these sessions that we have with these experts, and there's a library of downloads available for you. So I'm sure you'll find something of interest in there. Then once the 3 months is over, we invite you to join at £18 per month. We also offer business mentoring. That's Mark Shields, our CEO, and myself. We come from business background, so we do all the business mentoring when it comes to setting up your clinic or business. And we also offer really good monthly supervision with our other trainers. It's fantastic because they look at case studies. You may have questions about what techniques would you use in a certain scenario. They can help you with all of that. Now, I do believe that the supervision package, there is an offer for Cam Coach Club with supervision if that is something that you want. But just know you're not on your own when you finish, because we also give you, as soon as you've completed, we give you access to setting up in business, which is pretty amazing. That's based on our best-selling book. So there's plenty of post support for you there, which is invaluable. Okay, so here is the offer. So become a transformational CAM coach and save 50%. So this is pretty amazing. You can, well, there's two different options I've put there. You can join right away and start learning with us, get yourself up to foundation level for £2,000 plus VAT. And that's our practitioner full course investment that is usually £4,000 plus VAT. Option 2 is for our full diploma. So that is practitioner and mastery together. So that means you want to study and learn with me over a longer period of time. So you'll complete practitioner, and then probably about a month or two later, you'll then go into mastery. And the mastery is a continuation of practitioner where you will learn more advanced NLP skill sets and hypnotherapy. And also, I train you in the emotional freedom technique and timeline therapy as well. So it's brilliant. It's worth knowing that 90% of people, actually, it's been really good, 90% of students that have done their virtual learning with me at practitioner level have actually gone on to do mastery. They've joined up. So you can do option 2 for £4,000 plus VAT, giving you a 50% saving, because it's usually £8,000. So we have this limited offer for you. If you go onto the NLP Coaching Company website, you will see that we have different payment options, because we know that not everybody can pay up front. So we are really, really flexible here at the Academy. So you can click on the early discount and pay up front if you want to. This is for option 1, this screenshot that I've done here on this slide. And then you can pay a £600 plus VAT to secure your place on the course, and then pay the balance later on. Or you can join us by signing up for the 5-month payment plan or 10-month payment plan. If you have any questions about the payment plans, please do contact us, because we'll be able to assist you and help you further. So do check our website, thenlpcoachingcompany.com, for all our available dates, because you're probably eager to find out when our next cohort is running. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate that you've spent this time with me learning today. I'd love you to get in touch. I really would. You can call me direct. Please do take a screenshot now of my contact details. You can see them below. You can also contact us direct on the NLPcoachingcompany.com website, or you can email me, hayley@lifepractice.co.uk or info@lifepractice.co.uk. You can also write to us as well. I'd love to hear from you. Any questions at all? There are no such thing as any silly questions. So please do get in touch, and I look forward to welcoming you onto one of our courses. Thank you so much, and that's a goodbye from me. Thank you.